Okay, what's up, everybody?
What
We are now
up?
live for episode 151. It's 9:30 exactly, so let's get it started with a little intro first. Here we go. As soon as the car goes by,
Vroom vroom, ghost ride the
as
whip.
long as it's not the donut from earlier. God. Okay. Intro in 5, 4. What is up, fans? What is up, fans? Welcome to another issue of the Comic Bookies podcast. Myself, Mike, and Sean are back for episode 151. We hope that everyone had a wonderful and safe Memorial Day weekend. We sure as hell took a long weekend because we haven't been on since around mid-May, so we are glad to be back. This week in sports, us here in the Bay Area, we cannot do anything but think about the NBA Finals, so we will discuss games 1 and 2, and we will preview games 3 and beyond between the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics. We give our, first, second, third, fourth, you guys are allowed a couple check-ins on the MLB, so we'll give a little check-in there. And NASCAR is in our home track of Sonoma. I will be there along with my wife to see if Kyle Larson can defend his title. And over in comic books, like I said, we haven't been on in a long time, so we have plenty of books to preview, plenty of books to review, and there's a lot to get into, including Joker 2. The sequel has been confirmed. Black Adam trailer drops tomorrow. Me and Sean are talking, bunch of shows. I finally am into, Snowfall. We'll be discussing that. Obi-Wan Kenobi. But yeah, all that and more, and a bag of chips. On this week's episode of the Comic Bookies podcast, join us. Thank you so much. All right.
Better than Mark. Mark usually takes about 5 to 10 times.
Oh, really?
No, that was always good. Mark does good. I don't think I've ever tried to do the freaking intro.
It's not too bad. Yeah, if you haven't done it since May 18th, it's kind of like, it's like...
No, you're good though, man. Shoot.
It's not too bad. When you do it 150 times, or maybe what now? That'd be like 100, 145 now. I probably have done a handful of episodes not doing it. But yeah, so. Okay, cool. So. Back live in 5, 4, 3, 2. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Comic Bookies podcast. Like I said, myself, Mike, and Sean are on the microphone this week. Thank you so much for joining us live on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Like always, we are brought to you by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Tomorrow, Wednesday, June 8th, 2022, is New Comic Book Day, so go check out the shop in Fremont. Go check out your local comic book store, wherever you go and get your books. But for us specifically, it is Alex, who was on last week's episode at Treasure Island. He can get your books any way you want them, new, old, and, of course, you can walk in, you can get them mailed, or hell, you can just park outside the store, and he can drop them off for you. Sean, how are you doing, sir? It's been a while since you've been on. I'm not sure if you were on with Alex. I think it was it all four of us, or was it just...
It was just you three. I was on, I think, the episode right before that. You know
That's
what?
right. It's been
I think
way too damn long.
I think I've said this once Kason was born, and I'll say it again. When you have kids, you get a lot less time. People think, you can do this when you're sleeping. Man, I'm catching up on stuff, all these different events. And episode 151, geez, I can't... Yeah, it's been that long, it feels like. But no, we're at least back. I know Mark, he's busy doing what he's currently doing with some, personal life things. But no, man, it's good to be back. A lot of good sports, a lot of good comics. And oh, man, episode 151 is going to be a fun one for sure.
Shoot, you have one, right? Like we were saying, because you came over to the house for a barbecue a couple weeks ago, and I said, wait till you have just not only Kason being mobile, right? Like moving around, saying like, "No, don't stick your hand in that light socket. No, don't touch the oven or the burners."
Child safety house.
Like, oh yeah, dude, just childproof your house. And then all of a sudden, when you're in that phase, then here comes number 2. And now you have like another brand new human being, and then you guys are tied as far as humans in the house. So it's definitely challenging, But I mean, as parents, we're never completely ready for it, but you guys will get it down. And but as far as time, yeah, none. Like I said, we discussed this right before the episode started. I have not started Stranger Things. I am now in the beginning of March in all of my shows. So, granted, a lot of those shows end in like March or whatever, but I
Yeah.
just finished the first episode of Snowfall. I'm sure you finished the season like weeks ago, right? So that means in about a couple weeks I'll be starting Mayans. Like, it's just crazy how like limited time you have. And then you're at the point where you're like, okay, cool. Let me think. Do I want to catch up on these episodes or do I want to go to bed at 10? Like, I need to catch up on my shows, but that puts me at bed at like 12:30. So it's like that, because the kids are going to get up at like between 6 and 7 regardless. So you have to, it sucks. It sucks.
I remember when you guys would talk about it because you and Mark were the first ones having kids. I'm just like, I'll see when I'm there.
Right.
And yes, I'm there because Kaysen's waking
here.
up at 6:30. Hey, we have arrived.
Yes.
And I've been on paternity leave like the past 4 weeks, and I'm still feeling it. It's not like, I literally have people, how's your vacation? Oh, vacation. That's what you call it. It
Right.
ain't no damn vacation.
Definitely not.
There's days where Marissa's working, and I'm with Kaysen all day, and I'm enjoying every bit of the whole parenthood, but it's time, bro. No doubt about that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, you're gonna start to cherish those times where it's just you and Marissa doing stuff, right? So, and like we'll get into it later, but like Danielle's super excited for the race at Sonoma because it's like another event that we get to do just us two. My parents are watching the kids, and then of course she finds out the Bella twins are the grand marshals. She's like, oh my god, can we go like see them? Is there like an extra thing we can pay for to like get VIP? I'm like, I don't know.
Maybe we should get VIP for that event then.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I know, right?
It's cool. Though, no, it's gonna be a good time. I know we just Sonoma last year. It was a year in. Of course, Larson won, so no, it's can't go wrong with that,
right.
man.
And then me and Mark went like 2 years before that when Truex absolutely just dominated. So it'll be my third year out of 4 going to Sonoma, so that'd be cool. But now, next year is the big task for all of us to figure out what new track we're going to next year.
Got to do the new track, bro. I almost treated it like, for me being a Niner fan, my new stadium this year, we're going to be going to Denver.
That's right.
So I'm very excited about that. But man, every sports, you're into, and you always got to do the road track, the road course, the road field, whatever. Yeah, man, it'll be fun for sure.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you're going to Colorado in September. I'm going to visit family, my wife's side of the family, in August, and that's like one of the first things we do. So we're going to we planned it. We're going to the Giants and Rockies game when we're over there because it just like happens to be, so we're getting like a luxury box, we're just like doing it up. And then of course when we're planning our trip to North Carolina in October, and sure enough, I'm like, oh, do we have to go home Saturday because freaking Tom Brady is at the Panthers the day after? I'm like, so it's like me and you especially, like, we can't help it, but like
just missing
looking
it.
for either food or sports. I think that's like the two things that I look for besides relaxing, going somewhere on a vacation.
Agreed, bro. I think that's actually every trip I go to, and I'm like, who's in town? Even that when we go to the Niners Broncos game, the Giants are actually at home versus the Rockies. I'm like, what are the odds? Like,
oh dang,
it happened to be there. That'd be my perfect weekend. Go to a Giants game and, of course, Niners game. But no, hey, that's gonna be a good time for sure either way.
Nice, yeah. So, all right, cool. So, and how was your Memorial Day weekend?
It was good, sir. It was very good. We always do the annual camping trip for Alex's birthday.
That's right.
So we went to Don Pedro. My sister-in-law's boyfriend, he turned 21, so we had a little birthday get-together for him. Took Kaysen to the beach for his first time.
There you go.
So, it's so much fun, but the packing and all the extra crap you need to bring is I'm freaking here, carrying
I feel like you're bringing your whole damn half your house.
Yeah, but again, every new adventure's with Kaysen now, so it's just like his first time doing all these different things. So it's
right,
priceless, man.
Right, and of course it's more for you, right? You take him to Disneyland, that's for you. You take him to the beach, that's for you. You take him to wineries and stuff for last weekend, it's for you. So it's definitely his first thing, but that's like more for you guys. Not until they get like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Do you do it? Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. But it's more for them at that point. When they're a couple years old, within their first couple years, it's more for you.
It's our trip.
Yeah, it's more for you.
And thank God he tags along though, bro. The driving, he loves to drive.
That's
he
good.
Falls asleep. It's one of those babies. He's a good one. So.
Right. Yeah. The North Carolina will be the test. Let me tell you, sir. Let me tell you.
It is. And how was Temecula, sir? I know it's always a fun little getaway for you guys.
It was cool because the weather was better down there than it was up here. It was like, I think, high 80s, 90s, and I think the hottest day was when we left, and that was like 88. So everything was in like the high 70s, low 80s. It was beautiful. It was cool. We kind of chilled, went swimming. In the comic book section later, I'll go into my visit to Graham Cracker Comics and stuff in my hall from down there. There's a few spots that I always want to check out, and I don't really know anybody down there that owns the shop or works at the shop, but they're always really nice people down there. There's a few shops I like to go to. So, but yeah, all in all, it was cool. Cam, he threw up twice in the car ride down there, so that was fun. So
it's always entertaining. Nice cleanup. I mean, we had the break. Change his freaking diaper. Of course, it just falls over, get a little bit of poo-poo on the side. But
oh no,
hey, that's the least that can happen.
Hey, but at least your car didn't smell like like human throw up for the whole trip. Because like the first time he did it, he absolutely blew chunks, and it was like we were 15 minutes on the freeway, so we're like, screw it. Like we turned around and went back home, gave him like the quick bath and like try to clean up the seat and hose it down real quick and like take and then we put his other seat because we thought that it was like he had just transferred into like the front facing seat, so we're like, I think that he's like car sick, right? And sure enough, we put the seat back in, but we bring his rear facing seat, put in the back just in case. Sure enough, that Shell station right before you get onto the Grapevine, and boom, he does it again. Not as bad, but just as smelly. He's upset.
Oops, I did it again.
So we pulled over, wiped him off again, and then at that point we're like, screw it. So we just switched seats, and then finally when I get to my aunt and uncle's house, that's when I hose it down. Lay it out in the sun, put the pads and everything in the washer and dryer, because you can't really replace the armbands and the belts and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like they can't do that. And then you also can't submerge it in like hot soapy water because it's made of like some material that's it'll shrink. So of course, when the kids are
shrink,
yeah,
yep.
They'll grow out of those belts in no time. And then sure enough, you're having to shell out $300-$500 for a new seat. So we had to look up all kinds of crap to clean it. But anyways, on to the
sounds entertaining,
right? No, yeah, it was. I mean, it was good. Like the weekend made up for that, but it was like such a freaking trek. And we got down there. It's like if it's just me and you, right, driving down there, we don't stop one time. I get down there in 6 hours. It took us like 7.5, so it wasn't too bad of an extension. We didn't have to stop too many times. We literally stopped
with
two
times. Kids, bro, that's not
right.
bad at all.
We literally stopped 3 times, once to eat and 2 times for him throwing up. So it wasn't too bad. So, anyways, on to the meat and potatoes of the podcast. This week in sports, there's nothing more important to us than the NBA Finals, Sean. The Warriors completely implode in Game 1, and they lose that game at home, but then they come back storming in the second half. Pretty much, I would say, they were up at the first quarter. They were up by a couple more at halftime, and then they just absolutely exploded in the second half. And so they tied that series 1-1, going back to Boston tomorrow, I believe. I believe it's tomorrow and Sunday for games 3 and 4. So that should be exciting. What are your thoughts on the first 2 games of the series, and then, of course, tomorrow's game?
You said it best, man. The first game, it started great. Curry just killing it,
right.
And we were doing our thing. We were doing everything we needed to do, but of course we imploded, like you said. And that was bad. Like that was one of those like
and they couldn't miss.
They couldn't miss, and that's what I mean. I was always scared of playing them instead of Miami. Boston has a array of 3-point shooters, and even in Game 2, like that first half, we were up by 2 at halftime. It was a really low scoring, I think like a 50-48, 48-46. Mm-hmm. But Boston, like they still stuck around. That was just like it was really like a low energy first half. Of course, the second half we did good. Jordan Poole picked it up, but I mean, we're lucky the series, I think, is 1-1, to be quite honest.
Right.
And I'm not saying that Boston's a better team. I think we're a way better team than them. We have the most experience between the two teams. I think going to Boston, I mean, we're already in a must-win, at least 1 out of 2 in Boston. Mm-hmm. But I'm seeing some people, Warriors in 5. I actually think we're still fully capable of doing Warriors in 5. Nothing against Boston because they are good. Oh, they're really, really good. Right. And we're going to need to just be hitting on all cylinders. I mean, we're doing what we're doing right now with Clay shooting like under 40% right now. He's not playing that good, but Gary Payton coming back has been huge for us. I mean, we've seen how important he was, and we'll see, man. Going to Boston's going to be a test. I mean, tomorrow, that's their first, finals, I think, since 2009, I want to say. I think that's what it was. I've seen some statistic on it, but it's like that team is young. They're hungry, bro. They want to get us, man.
A little sidebar to the conversation. Caleb, what's going on? He's in the chat. He says, yo, what's up? Caleb, he's a subscriber brother. To Michael Marutz, so I see him on the channel all the time. So nice. Good to see you, sir, again.
Thanks for joining, brother.
Yeah, so I I was scared again in that first quarter. There were bouts where we were down like by 8 or like almost double digits. I was like, this is not happening again. And like, I'm at
Bro.
Maddie's end of the year t-ball party at freaking Rock and Jump in Brentwood. So we're over there like, I was like, of course we plan the party like before the NBA finals are set. So all the dads are like, in their Draymond or Curry jerseys, we're like, okay, cool. Yeah, kids, go ahead and freaking jump. Yeah, go, 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 go. Like, and so we're like right there trying to watch the
Get
game.
the game on.
But I'm like going back and forth. I'm watching, like, what the hell's going on? And sure enough, there's a bout where I am away from the TV, right, and I go back. I'm like, oh shoot, okay, it's like 35-35. It's like tied. Like, cool. And I see that we're up at halftime. I'm like, okay, no problem. And then sure enough, like right around the time that we're leaving, third quarter happens. I'm like, oh hell yeah, dude, very very nice. Oh, Caleb, no, he says Celtics in 7. I mean, I could see it going 7 games, and then at that point, are we really going to lose the home game? I mean, game 1 was our first home loss of the whole playoffs, right? So
The only thing I would say is, like I said it before the series started, I see the Warriors winning. I think it's a 6 to 7 game series. I mean, I'm thinking 6, but the Caleb of the world that tells me Celtics in 7, I can see it happening.
right.
I mean, I can't sit here and be ignorant. It's like, oh, of course not. Like they're good. Like they are good. Their roster 1 to 5 and off the bench with Derek White. I mean, they're good. And I think tomorrow every game is going to be a dogfight. I mean, we had that third quarter, but even like in the fourth quarter when the scrubs came in with like 3 minutes left, and I don't know if it got to like 17 or whatever it got, it's still kind of like, can you just keep our starters in? Can we make sure we win this game?
Right.
Like, yeah, man, it's the finals, man. This is one of those, I don't care about rest at this point. Forget the whole injury crap. Let's just make sure we go in there and do our thing. And again, man, tomorrow's going to be a fun one, a juicy one. And I'm hoping that game 6 Clay turns into game 3 Clay, because we need to just get him going, man. He hasn't been playing too good for us.
And I don't foresee game 1 Al Horford walking through the doors of the Garden either way. I mean, come on, dude. Like, when does that happen? And then Mark sends us the stat where it was like this person, and this person, who I think did pretty well in the game 1, combined for what, like 9 points in game 2. So it's like, come on now. I forgot who it was. He texted us. I forgot.
Derek White. Derek White was, I believe, one of them, and of course Horford like 9 of 11 with whatever he had. But I mean, look at Jaylen Brown in the second game. He had like he made his first 4 shots in like the first 5 minutes of the game.
Right.
He made one more field goal the rest of the game.
Right.
I mean, Tatum, he did good, but again, I mean, it's just kind of like just go out there and just do your thing tomorrow, and I think we'll come out victorious.
I hope so. I mean, yeah. And I'm tripping, but I'm not tripping too hard if we lose tomorrow, because we make it a best of 3 if we win on Sunday in game 4. So just come home to San Francisco. Oh God, that pains me to say that. Anyways, we come back to San Francisco next week for game 5, 2-2 or 3-1. If it's at least 2-2 tied, then I'm pretty confident that we'll win in 6 or 7.
You don't hate San Francisco as bad as Charles Barkley, though, right?
Dude, he was saying some shit. You know what? And it's funny because I'm like kind of like giggling in the background, like, yeah, no, Charles, no, I see it too. Like,
man, the funniest thing he said is TNT's so cheap, man. They freaking put us in a hotel right in the slum.
In the slums.
Right in the slums, bro. He said it was so much rain in Dallas. We were playing Dallas. He's like, I wish it was raining in San Francisco. They could just clean up them dirty streets.
There's not enough rain in this world. Sorry, Charles.
There it is. It is. His true feelings are out.
Hey, but if they win, then that's fine.
Yep, that's very true, man. We'll see. Hey, we'll see what happens, man. Tomorrow, I'm with you, bro. Just win one of the next 2, and I'm happy.
Right. Okay, cool. So from the hardwood to the baseball field, let's do a little check-in on the standings for the Major League Baseball. So, I mean, I don't have to really get into it, Sean. I mean, the A's are doing absolutely fabulous right now. They're probably top 3 or 5 to win the World Series right now. So, do you just want to skip? You just want to skip it this week?
You guys are, every year you guys are that one team where I'm like, oh, they're going to do something. And this is one of the year where, like, the roster is actually reflecting, like, how bad they're doing. They're doing pretty bad, obviously.
Right.
But it's too, as a fan, it's like, what do you expect? Like,
right.
Like, they just don't have a roster that's going to be winning too many freaking games. 20 and 37. I think there's, 1, 2. I'm looking right now. There's only one other team with the worst record, actually, than them.
Bro, look at their home record.
Kansas City
Royals.
Royals.
Look at their home record.
Yeah, 7-23 at home.
7-23 at home. That is horrid. Like, does anyone have even close to that record at home? I see the Nationals are 9-18.
And then
But like the last place
Royals are
Rockies,
9 and
but like the
19
last
too,
place
yeah.
Rockies in the NOS are 500 at home. A last place team is 500 at home. Like, come on, bro. Like you're one game
But then again, bro,
under
you
500,
can't be
and
surprised.
that's why, because you
Like,
have a shit place that no one wants to come to. So you pack like what? Oh yay, 2,000 to 5,000 a night. Like there's no home field advantage. So of course that never plays that never plays into the into the hands of the team, right? It never plays.
it's interesting because it's just like, oh, we're gonna get a new stadium, and people literally think it's like the snap of a finger. We're gonna start attracting all kinds of new talent. Which, I mean, of course, it'll slowly take a process. You will get new talent, but it's like all those players for like those Chapmans and stuff. We got a whole bunch of minor leaguers, which generically will go to the AAA, AA. No, those are actually the starters for the A's this year. That's where the problem is.
Right. I mean, and at the same time, you still have the same ownership group. So if they shell out some money for a stadium to kind of make money, because they're going to build a crumble cookie and a Quiznos and an AMC theater and a handful of apartment complexes, that's fine. But if they still are the cheap bastards that they are, and that they're not paying anybody to come here or keep anybody here, it's going to be the same shit every year. And then you're going to charge the blue collar fans who come and want to and can go ahead and come with their whole family, tickets, parking, and food and everything for $100. You're going to charge them $100 a pop for a seat, and they're not going to come. Just like the Yankees, like the first couple of years in the new stadium, like when you watched a game on ESPN, all the first like 10 rows it was empty. No one wants to spend like thousands of dollars to sit 10 rows. Like, come on now, it's ridiculous. But they spend the money on the roster, so they don't care if they don't draw as much. But when Boston comes to town, they draw. When the Mets come to town, they draw. So, I mean, San Francisco, like, what do you think about your Giants? They're 5 games above 500, 5 games out of the NL West, so they kind of have cooled off a little bit, but they're still right there,
We're just one of 2 divisions that have 2 teams with a 600 plus win percentage. Obviously, the Padres, they still have one of those sexy rosters. I mean, Tatis hasn't even played yet, and they are one of the better teams. I mean, they're 1.5 games out of the Dodgers, which, I mean, they have probably the best, arguably, roster in baseball next to the Yankees. So, I mean, we're kind of in one of those, we're doing all right, like 29 and 24 early. Like, I'm looking at all these other divisions. That has us in about second place in pretty much every other division except the AL East. But it's like, just keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully we can maybe be a buyer at the All-Star break. I mean, we had a couple of hiccups, a couple of series where we lost, but I mean, I don't know, man. We have a good team. I like what we're doing, but we just don't have that sexy player. We haven't built our team that way, and at some point we're going to need a big name.
Right. The AL Central looks pretty tight. Twins, White Sox, and Guardians all within 4 games of each other.
Don't say that name to me.
I know, right? I kind of stuttered on it. I was like, I wanted to say the Indians, but but the Yankees are just on fire right now, playing almost 730 ball. Only 15 losses. The Blue Jays kind of are striking back. They were like very, very, very mediocre in the first month and a half of the season, but now they're only 7 games out in second place, and they're the Rays. Boston's actually doing well. They were absolutely atrocious in last place below the Orioles after the first month of the season, first 6 weeks, and now they're a game over 500, so they're kind of storming back, but they're still 12 games out. Houston, just give them the damn trophy already. They're already 9 games up on the Angels.
I didn't realize they were. I mean, I know
ridiculous.
the Yankees. The Angels were choking like they always do, and they fired Joe Madden. They dismissed them. Sorry, use a proper term. But God, 36 wins. I mean, they're also doing their job. They're doing pretty freaking good, man.
Right. Miami Marlins down there, of course, they're doing what they're doing, but Mr. Alcantara is absolutely on fire for my fantasy team. Absolutely on fire.
Guy's a killer, dude. Guy's a dog, man. He's
and
nice.
Speaking of the Red Sox, freaking Michael Waka Waka Waka, complete
like a flame. Jesus.
Complete game shutout yesterday. But it's good to see me and you on top of the standings, dude. Good to see me and you on top.
I'm probably gonna be losing, dude. My team is just hurt, man. I got the shortstop on the White Sox, Tim Anderson. He's hurt. Brandon Lowe, I got on the Rays is hurt. I got like 4 pitchers. I mean, thank God we have like 4 or 5 IR spots. I'm freaking using every IL. So I'm using every freaking one of them, dude.
Oh man.
But it is fun to kind of be back. It's definitely had me like more, just in tune with baseball, knowing players. Because I mean, dude, our days where we like the freaking Frank Thomas, the Jeff Bagwell, like those days, we could
Mm-hmm.
probably name half those freaking rosters. Now half the damn leagues from the freaking, Latin
Right.
American, these young guys. I don't know half these damn guys, but now I'm starting to get a little bit more just in tune with some of these guys. But yeah,
I
man,
mean, that's what
it's funny,
that's
bro.
what we did when we're at the age in the early 2000s when we started doing fantasy football and baseball and sandbox. We're at that age where we have to kind of have that memory because we're in school, right? All your formulas, all your historical facts, all your scientific facts or whatever, we have to memorize it. So we can like go down a roster, a whole division, and tell you the teams, the coaches, the quarterbacks, the running backs. We can tell you all that stuff, right? And it gets harder and harder. But dude, like back in the day, like we knew the Texas Rangers roster like the back of our hand because not only did we do fantasy baseball, but we played the video games too.
Dude, Wangan, Pudge, Palmero. Oh, I mean, that's only three of them I could think off the top of my head, but just
Kenny
exactly
Rogers.
that quick. I could think of Kenny Rogers. I could just right there kind of instantly think
Right.
of like three guys, four guys instantly. But
Right.
oh yeah, today and day it's like, all right, Mike, why don't you name me?
I can't name
three
you
players on the Pirates.
Dude, that's the team I was. That's exactly the team I was. I can't name you one guy on the Pirates right now. I don't even know if I have.
I don't think.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't. I think Bender or
Who?
Bender because I picked up their closer.
Who?
Say what? Like that's
I can name you one
Diamondback. Bro.
Diamondback. Madison Bumgarner.
Oh, bum, there it is, and you just dropped him.
I just dropped. Well, he's like a rent a pitcher. I kind of keep bringing him up, and he gives me solid points. He did get -3 yesterday, so I had to drop his ass. But anyways. But yeah, the season's going okay so far. I do the same thing as I always do, even if they're good. I kind of try to put them on in the background, but since they are so bad, don't know when the
Not getting any minutes at the BLA.
I don't know when the last time
or shows. We're catching up on shows
yeah,
now.
catching up on shows and watching Turning Red for the 50th time this month. So stuff like that. So.
We'll definitely do our checkups in the next couple of weeks. But no, I mean, what are we, about 50, 60 games in? It's still, somewhat early, about a third of the way, roughly. But no, it's been a good season so far.
Right.
I mean, to what you said, and obviously the A's. But you kind of expected it at least, so it's not one of those, damn.
Right.
Had high
Gosh darn it. I can't
expectations.
believe we only have 7 home wins. Oh, well, when my mom sends me a picture, hey, we got good seats today. I was like, dang, packed house. She's like, oh, shut up. And there's like an hour left before the game starts. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Sorry, I have to wait for the other 1,500 people to pack in. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Hard time finding parking, huh?
Oh God! All right, and
man.
onto the last.
Good times.
Onto the last topic of the evening for sports is, of course, NASCAR, dude. So the last couple weeks were pretty good in NASCAR. You had on Memorial Day weekend. You had the Coca-Cola 600, which I actually was up because the kids were up. Absolutely loved the race at Monaco. And then actually my cousin's girlfriend, her family's huge IndyCar fans. Like they went to the Long Beach race a few weeks prior, got pit passes and everything. So it was pretty cool to watch some of the Indy 500.
badass.
Of course, Jimmy Johnson, he leads 2 laps of the Indy 500. I think it was like, pit strategy, but hey, he led a couple laps.
Hey, he has a name on the record
Right,
books.
there you go. And then finally the Coca-Cola 600 to where a couple drivers back and forth, and it looked like Kyle Larson had a chance, but with 2 left, they freaking, the caution comes out for overtime, and then, of course, they get collected again, but a bunch of different winners. The All-Star race happened a week prior in Texas. You had Ryan Blaney, so technically Blaney does not have a win, so he's not technically in. He just has $1 million. But Kurt Busch winning in Kansas, Joey Logano winning in Darlington after that little bump and run with what's his name, with William Byron. Your boy,
Very Logano.
Your boy finally gets his first win on May 2nd. Chase Elliott does, and I'm only running through these because I don't think that we talked. I don't think we talked NASCAR with Alex either. And then finally, you had the last 2 winners. Denny Hamlin came back. He was the number 3 and number 4 guy right there coming out of the pile, and he wins the Coca-Cola 600, the longest race of the year, and the Enjoy Illinois 300 at the WWT Raceway in St. Louis, winner by Joey Logano. So Joey Logano becomes the 3rd driver this year to have multiple wins, joining Ross Chastain and William Byron. So this week is not only the last race on Fox, But the Toyota Save Mart 350 on Sunday, June 12th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Myself and my wife will be attending that race. Cannot wait. It's always a good time to go out there. I think there's the air show that they had. There's tons.
Always
yeah,
awesome.
There's tons of things. So we're gonna do the same thing we did last year, minus as much drinking. We're gonna go there. We're gonna get there early, have a few drinks, and then we're gonna go in there and kind of walk around, see if she can get a new shirt. She needs an updated Tootsie's number 99 Trackhouse shirt for Suarez. The Tootsies. But yeah, so it's really cool. Glad that she's going to go there for her first time. As you know, she only went there when all the ladies went to Fontana a handful of years ago. It seems so long ago now, but yeah. So what do you think about the Toyota Save Mart 350 from Sonoma Raceway?
I mean, I wish we just recorded what we said in pre-production, because I think our two racers speak for itself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have the road course racers from their average start to their history there of just winning. I mean, last year we went. Obviously, Larson won. I know Chase is his history of road tracks. I mean, I like to think both of our racers are going to obviously have an edge.
Right.
Looking at the other racers, I mean, actually may go back to logo, and it's like, oh, you're just picking the three comic booky racers, but it's like all three of them are pretty damn good. And yeah, I'm going to kind of keep my money on those three, really. I mean, They all have a win this year, which is really good. You know, they're obviously getting to a track that they have a little bit more confidence in. So if there's any three who probably want to get another win, I mean, if Logo goes and gets his third win of the year, leading the pack, I mean, he's going to definitely be extra confident. So we'll see, man. I mean, Larson, I can see Larson too, bro. I mean, I always think in between. I'm going to speak Chase, probably like the least out of the three, because like Larson's like one of those, he hasn't won kind of recently, but it's like, oh, Larson was like right there leading or this. It's like he always finds his way on top, bro.
Right. I mean, the WWT Raceway didn't fare so well for him. He was hovering around the high teens, and then he got up to like 5th or 6th, and then I think he finished like 12th or 13th. So a decent finish for a first timer for everything, right? But Joey Logano, he was there a little bit, because we remember how crazy Mark was getting and waving that seat cushion around with a 22.
I wish we had an image that we could just show the millions and millions of fans. Right. This guy climbing on the fence, literally behind his team's freaking
onto pit road,
and he drops it in pit road.
Oh god, that's so hilarious. But the last couple of years, it's been dominated by either Larson or Martin Truex Jr. But I think whenever we talk about these races this year, it gets thrown out the window with the tire problems they've been having in these next gen cars. It seems like all these stats just get thrown out the window, and Ross Chastain has 2 wins, right? It's like, what the hell? All these, if they go to a brand new race the rest of this year or next year, pick Joey Logano. He won the first dirt track at Bristol. He won this race at WWT because they've only ever raced for the trucks and the Xfinity Series. So of course, first time ever on that track, he wins. But yeah, I could definitely see him winning. Kyle Busch is also a good road course, racer as well. I don't know.
They all got wins there, yeah. I mean, we're at Martin Truex with 3, Kyle with 2. I mean, our guys have some wins there. Kurt even has a win with Kevin Harvick. And only because I watched some of the Netflix show that he has for our buddy Darrell Wallace. I hope our buddy Darrell Wallace maybe gets a win.
Right, Bubba, dude. Did you watch the whole 4 parts of the documentary?
I did not watch, I think, so the 3rd episode, I watched half of that one. Obviously, I didn't watch the 4th one. But I mean, the first 2, are you kind of seeing the depression he had to deal with, and a lot of the stuff with his mom going, and kind of obviously the race issue, which, let's not be ignorant, it's there, and it's just bro, I love this kind of documentaries for that very reason, bro.
No, I completely agree. It was one of those things where you got that side of the sport, right? To where, because not just NASCAR, but a lot of these sports are kind of they're manly men. You don't see that, but then you see, with all the CTE issues, right? Is it just the hitting? Is it the depression? Is it how they kind of live their life on in the fast lane? No pun intended, or on the field or on the pitch or whatever. And then they seem like the happiest people ever, and then they
mental illness is real.
And they end their own life, unfortunately, or or they get on this documentary and they tell all the fans
let it
that's
out.
How real it is. right? I was at that point where I almost left or I almost ended it. I had to talk to so and so and so and so, like my wife, or it was crazy. But it is a good
I
documentary,
think
though. I agree.
Yeah, when we're kids, bro, I mean, not to kind of shy away from the whole NASCAR thing, but it's true. Like, as a kid, you think, I want to be a pro athlete. How many times do you see that? Like, oh, I told my kid or my teacher, I'm going to do this and this. But when a little bit older now, we're able to be more aware of, like, all these stresses they have.
Right.
And you actually see it in a documentary. It's just like, bro, between the travel, the pressure, and all that crap, it's like, man, especially like in NASCAR, like, it's true. It's a heavily more white sport. And you're probably the only black guy
Right.
that's racing, let's be honest here. So I'm always rooting for him. Like, I'm always rooting for him because I'm just like, I think it's just good, the whole diversity. And another one, I mean, shoot, Suarez. I would love for Suarez to win. I think it'd be
Yeah, I
awesome.
mean, especially him being at Trackhouse with Chastain having all of his success so far this year. It's a matter of time now. You know, like you thought it.
It's contagious,
Right.
bro. It has
He's
to
been on
come.
so many good teams. He's been on Joe Gibbs. He was at Stewart Haas, right? And then he joins Trackhouse, and like Trackhouse is doing just as good, if not better. He's definitely doing like Trackhouse is performing better than Stewart Haas. That's for damn sure. Harvick's not performing. Custer's not performing. Chase Briscoe, I believe, has the one win, but like doo doo besides that. And Almirola, what has he
Jabroni.
really ever done, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, that team's performing better than the team they used to be on, and Stewart Haas is like supposed to be an upper echelon type team. So I hope that Suarez, you know what, screw it, I hope he wins for my wife to be there, right?
Let's
Right.
go. Ever since Harvick had that freaking monster 2 years ago,
Oh,
whatever it was,
right,
he's really been kind of like he kind of just blew his load.
right.
Well, I did my thing. Now I'm just gonna just go with the flow now.
And that sucked too because that season was he had X amount of wins and didn't even make it to the final four.
Didn't even make the
That
final.
was that funny ass like he tried to go backwards across the finish
Sally.
line at Martinsville. That was so funny. Okay, so all right,
Excited for you and Danielle though, bro. It's gonna be a good
yeah.
time. A little wine country Sonoma. And I did see the weather. You guys are gonna be hitting some beautiful,
Oh,
beautiful
you know what? I
California
did not
weather.
see the weather. Is it like
Oh, it's
80s
gonna be a
or
scorcha. It's gonna be 80s, I
okay,
believe.
well,
And then I know you get
I might wear I'm gonna wear this hat, but I might switch it up and
bring
wear
out the
the
bucket
bucket, the
hat.
big old like the wicker, the straw hat. But there are,
I heard there's gonna be a Niner there too, right?
well, last year there was too, wasn't what's his name there?
It was. I think it was a
It was Shanahan,
Shanahan.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
Shanahan, and
Shanahan,
I
and
know
now it's who?
you know
Warner.
Fred Warner.
Warner. Okay, cool. I
Fred
mean, I'm not
Warner.
surprised. Like it like it might have been a Warrior if the Warriors were in the NBA Finals, or
Exactly,
But
exactly.
I figure now with the Raiders gone and no one's calling the A's, it's going to be the Giants, the Niners, and the Warriors, right? It's going to be San Francisco.
I thought they were gonna call Pache. Pache, you guys are center
No, I'm
fielder.
good. Then they wouldn't draw anybody. Like, that thing's not going to sell out. Then they
Oh
definitely
shoot.
wouldn't sell it out if Pache was there. He would have brought all the bad mojo of the O.co or whatever the hell they call it nowadays.
Oh shoot.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going Larson or okay.
Suarez,
So
you said,
Larson,
right?
Suarez, and then like a more realistic pick. Ah, shit.
Say it, player.
Damn, he's actually been racing pretty well, and he's good on road. Kyle Busch probably.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Don't be no shame in your
I don't
game.
like picking Toyotas. I don't
Obviously,
like picking Joe Gibbs. Screw that, man.
yeah, I mean, of course, I like the whole chase. So I said earlier, the chase, and I think Logano's doing all right. But I think I might go Larson actually.
All right, well, I'll be there because you know that I've been to. Oh, man, how many races I've been to? One Vegas.
You've been to two Larson wins.
Right, one Vegas, one
Fontana.
and then two Sonomas now, and Larson's won. So Larson's won half of the races I've been to. So let's keep the trend going. All right, cool. Well, that does it for the sports. Sean, you want to just jump into comics now? You need to take a break.
You know what? I was gonna go take the drain the main vein if you don't mind, real
All
quick.
right, cool. So let me start that over. We
Yeah.
kind of that I can edit that out. Well, all right, cool. Well, that's the end of the sports section, end of the first half of the Comic Bookies podcast, episode 151. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back after this tune for you. See you guys soon.
Yes, sir.
All right. Ready to get back into it, bro?
Oh, bro, Ayatollah of rock and
All
roll.
right, cool. Just get a little sip water.
The brother is parched.
Okay, back live in 5, 4. And as the epic... Oh, am I on? Okay, cool. And as the epic music fades, we are back with episode 151 of the Comic Bookies podcast. Again, we are brought to you by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Go visit Alex in the shop tomorrow for New Comic Book Day. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at the Comic Bookies. Email us anytime for your opinion or just to shoot the shit, or if you want to set up an interview, if you want to promote something. We are the comicbookies at gmail.com. And of course, you guys know the YouTube page. Just search the Comic Bookies, subscribe, hit that, like all those annoying YouTube pages. Subscribe, hit the notification button, and give us a like, right? So do all that good stuff for us. We appreciate the support. Sean, I think we're in over half of the country so far since I've been keeping track in like the last 10 episodes. So, including Alaska, Hawaii, and stuff. So I'll give all those hopefully updated new good stats later in the show. But let's get into some comic books. Let's get right into it. This week, coming out tomorrow on the 8th of June, 2022, in our Lord's year 2022, from DC, Batman 124, Dark Knights of Steel. Holy crap, I didn't get the number, but it's like, either 3, 4, 5, or 6.
7.
So it's 7. Thank you. Dark Crisis, the new Crisis that's going to reset everything in the DC universe. Dark Crisis number 1 starts tomorrow. Flashpoint Beyond number 2 and Batman Killing Time number 3. Marvel gives us Thor 26, The Amazing Spider-Man number 3, Venom number 8, Star Wars number 24, and Legion of X number 2. Aftershock, Dogs of London, actually looked like a pretty decent story, but actually I left it off at the last minute off of previews, so I didn't get that one. So number 2 comes out tomorrow, and a new story from Aftershock, Astronaut Down, number 1. Image gives us Spawn 330, Oblivion Song 36, and Time Before Time number 13. And of course, one of our favorite small-time publishers, AWA, gives us ETER number 2. Sean, let's get into it for a couple minutes. What are you excited for this week? What do you over the last month and a half? Just kind of blurt out anything that you've liked or that you've read.
Well, this week obviously kind of leads into the book that only because I haven't had a Spider-Man, so I guess I gave it away. The Amazing Spider-Man number 1, I did read it, and I did like it because it did have a little bit of a different theme. I mean, right off the bat, Mary Jane has kids in it,
right?
So that already gives you a little hint into like, okay, where are we at in the story? And I haven't read number 2. I think that came out 2 weeks ago. I want to say, like you, I'm a little all over the place. About 2 weeks, give or take, behind.
Right.
But number 3 already seems like I'm gonna probably like this, so I'm gonna get that.
Okay.
The Punisher. I know there was a little story that I read number 1. I talked about it the last time I was on. I read number 2 and number 3. Number 3 I read like 2 days ago, and it. You know what? The story is kind of like, it's okay,
right?
But it's just very Punisher-like. Like it is gory. It's funny because I always think about is it Ennis, the one that the books that we read?
Yeah, Garth Ennis, yep.
From Forrest. Yes, I mean those ones that we read from Forrest, and I mean I got a couple of the volumes. Like those are some good. The artwork is good. The language between characters are good. The dialogue, and it's funny because I think they try to modernize it to where I don't think the artwork is as good. I really don't care for it too much, but it is Punisher. It's hella gory.
Oh, good.
But it's just a whole that's the good part, of course. But it's really he's working with ninjas, and I know I previously brought it to where it's pretty much they're kind of looking at the Punisher he's their Lord Savior.
Right.
We do whatever you want, and he's just just the judge and the jury of the whole thing. But it's just he's doing everything out of kind of guilt into how things are with his wife, dead, obviously, and it's an all right story. Like I said, I'm still getting it because it is a Punisher, and that's just one character I've always been. I don't know. I've always liked him, man. It's always, I can't really say much more than that on that. Other stories, Flash. You know what, bro? I'm turning into the mark of it. I'm just not that big on the Flash now. I really think it's about that time to do what scissors do and cut. I don't like it at all.
Right, but it's weird because I read 782 and with Wally West and Wallace, but of course, the very last page,
782, is that the last one you read?
Yeah, this one right here.
Okay. So that's actually the one I need to. Okay,
Right.
that's the one I'm on right now. So will that make me feel better?
Not really. Just like the last page, they it says the search for Barry Allen. It's a Dark Crisis tie-in. So the next flash, 783, is like, you know, oh my god, like I have to get it because it's a Dark Crisis tie-in. You know, the search for Barry Allen. But if it goes back to the normal, like Wally West and like, oh man,
It's been rough,
it
bro. It's been
right. It's
hard.
like the second, like the last two arcs from Williamson and going into this guy, it never really improved. The arc
At
you know
least
what?
you said
You
it.
know what? The last arc I will say was pretty good. The one with the Justice League Dark with like
That was
Detective
good.
Chimp and
No,
Zatanna.
that was
That was pretty
okay.
good, right? With Swamp Thing and all those guys. It was pretty good. But it goes right back to, you know, I mean, the only thing keeping you kind of interested is like the wife now has powers and like of course the kids and no, I don't know. I will say
Your heart keeps you invested.
right. Right. It's like I've been getting this one since day one, since 2016. Like, do I really want to like dump it now? But I might. Now, one book that will always be at the top one, towards the top of the list, is this. Like, I swear, dude, if you ever want to get into the buying of trade paperbacks, but anything in the White Knight saga,
You've always
like,
talked about White
dude,
Knight.
Batman the White Knight, and then Batman the Curse of the White Knight, and then this one is Batman Beyond the White Knight. And of course, Harley Quinn had her side story last year. That's when Mark got into the White Knight. But this is just Batman Beyond. It's completely different. It's a whole different take on the DC universe, right? Like the GTO is like the Special Forces unit, and that's Dick Grayson's side. He's not a part of the GCPD, right? Bruce Wayne is currently in jail. I'm just gonna throw out some like,
That's
Harley
fine.
Quinn has two kids by the Joker. The Joker is currently dead. To keep him out of prison, or at least her out of prison, right? Bruce Wayne and Harley Quinn are married, right? They did it so that way she didn't have to testify against him, right? Because you know how the spousal this spousal privilege or whatever. So yeah, this is just crazy side stories that's like, I definitely would not read this in a normal Batman book or in a normal like any book. It's just its own side thing, and I love just jumping into it every single time. And of course, they bring in Mr. Batman Beyond in this story, so it's
Are they all like that in terms of like side stories? Because even just you saying that, I'm just kind of like, that actually sounds pretty damn cool. Actually, that's stuff that isn't real.
dude,
Obviously,
I
but
think
that's...
I let Joe borrow the White Knight, the first one. As soon as he returns it, it's yours, dude. It's so cool. Love it.
I know this God. I don't know how many freaking Batman stories there are, but like, I think one thing I always say is that was a common theme. Is kind of like, normal, very Batman-like, but like something like that's different. So I know that'd be something that definitely enticed me a little bit.
Right.
So let me know for sure when you get that back.
Will do. I got the new Batman Fortress, number one of I think 6 or 8 issues. It's just like not a Gotham City wide blackout like the one Dark Knight from Jock right now that we're reading, the big Black Label one, but it's like worldwide. It's some like extraterrestrial, like alien being that has like shut down the power across the whole world, and Batman's confused because usually when something like that happens, Superman comes, but Superman's nowhere to be found. So that's how the first issue left off. Seven Secrets has one more issue after this one. The last arc's been on kind of a downhill, but it's not too bad. I'm glad that I'm getting to the end of it though. AWA, I think only one book right now I'm currently reading of AWA, and that's the Joneses. And I think anything within the Resistance world, I'm gonna get. This book is about a family of 4, a husband, wife, a son, and a daughter, and they have powers after the huge, wave, like pretty much
Something
the
happens,
COVID,
of
right?
course.
The COVID hit, hella people died, and the people who survived are starting to manifest powers. Like I think we all read the Resistance, but now it's like the Joneses because it's keeping up with the Joneses. It's in a small neighborhood, and they have like a neighborhood watch and everyone, and they're trying to like pretty much catch. Like, oh, did you hear that? So, but they don't know it's the Joneses, but right. But they know someone in their close knit neighborhood has powers, and they're all like, oh, it's these people with powers. These people, so they're being like,
I wonder who the hell they are.
Right.
Yeah.
So, a couple other ones like like the What If Miles Morales. It's fun. It's like 6 different issues. So like this one right here is like What If Miles Morales was the Hulk. It's like one of those pretty much what.
Oh, those what
It's
if
just
is that
What If.
like what if like series previously too, right? A
I
while
think so.
ago.
Well, they had the cartoon
Oh,
on Disney Plus too.
the cartoon, of course, from Disney Plus.
Right.
Did you get Homeland Part One, the Captain America Symbol of Truth?
So I was so there was 3 stories that I was making a decision of. So I dropped that one because I picked up the new Amazing Spider-Man, and then after Devil's Reign, I picked up coming soon. I think it's supposed to be the new Daredevil story.
Yes.
I think that's one of the ones that's been like highly delayed because of paper issues. I think paper shortages.
Yeah, I know. When I talked to Alex when I went last week, he goes, "Oh yeah, the books are going to be very delayed
Right.
for like he said, like the next up to year."
Right, because
he said it's pretty damn bad.
we said to him in the last episode, I consistently send you a handful of things, whether it's 2 things or 5 things from previews, but I'm only getting like this week I'm getting 4. Like next week I'm getting, dude, next week I'm getting like 2 books.
Yeah, you were actually his example when I went to talk. He goes, "There's some books, days I'm sure, or weeks Mike's gonna maybe get 2, and he's gonna have 1 week where he's gonna blow his load and get like 10 books or something like that."
That was 2 weeks ago. I got like 11. It's like, what the hell? And now I'm 2 weeks behind because it's like, oh, I was enjoying like only having to read these 3 or 4 books, but now it's like, oh shit, I go out of town and then I come back and I'm like, oh damn it, I didn't have any time to read nothing.
Yeah, the Captain America, it's okay. I mean, it's just so blatantly easy to tell a Marvel from a DC book. I mean, Sam Wilson, it's cool actually having him as Captain America because I actually like see that. I see the Hawkeye. I see, him as Captain America, and it's okay. I'm gonna get a number 2 when it comes out just to see if it kind of gets better. I always give like an extra chance for these Marvel books, especially that one, but it's kind of like, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, you have like some like Wakanda supporters within it. He's definitely, I mean, he's like right in the prime of playing Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Right.
Definitely worth like he's getting number
Nice.
2.
Flashpoint Beyond is pretty good. It's 1 of 6. It's like a revisit to Flashpoint, and it's like an ode to Watchmen and kind of like the Watchmen story, like the Pin story with like the Flash and Batman. It's like a continuation kind of that story. That's number 1 was pretty good.
I got the Flashpoint that original.
Yeah, that's right. We're getting so. I have yet to read The Road to Dark Crisis. Of course, Dark Crisis number 1 comes out tomorrow, but this is the last issue of the Justice League that led up to Dark Crisis. This is the death.
I haven't read that
yet. The
death
death of that one, but also because I saw it in previews and I thought it was pretty damn cool, I got a variant copy of it, and it's like right here where it's all the caskets right here, and all the different Justice League members, past and present, are there kind of at the funeral. So it's pretty cool.
That almost looks like one that you don't touch for like 20 years.
Right.
It's going to be worth something. That actually looks
there.
really dope.
I don't know if you saw it in previews, in the Marvel previews, but Alien is starting over at number 1. Same writer, Philip Kennedy Johnson, but it's like a different story. So I told Alex, I'm like...
I got the most recent.
Right. So I read, this is number 11. Haven't read 12 yet, but...
Seen and I was they were gonna say something, that's why.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I seen that they were gonna have a new Alien, but I was a little confused. Like, hold on, number 1. Me and Mike were reading that, so it's gonna be basically just start fresh, almost to a degree.
I think so. I think it's just like a new story, like a new group of people. So like when I see that in previews, I'm like, oh crap. Well, the current group that we see right now, that means they're all gonna die, right?
They're all gone. Did they just give it away?
I know, right? Let's see. I think.
Dude, there's so many freaking time between the last
and then the last one that I was going to talk about. Is it done? Because it's been so long since I read it. Is the Joker done, or do we have one more issue?
Joker, we were done last time I remembered. I do remember that. That was like a number 14.
Right. Yes, yeah. 14.
Yes, I believe it was 14 because I believe, yes. Oh man, I can't remember the last time. Freaking.
No, because right here, because Batman's right here saying where's the Joker, and it says next to be concluded. So I think we still have one more issue.
Guys, I mean, it feels like forever since last time we got a freaking Joker.
Right, because we thought it was pretty much done, like with Bane, and like Lady Bane, the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So
because we actually see Bane in it.
So to kind of round out the comic book, I don't know if you have any more books you wanted us to speak on.
I'm looking forward to Batman. I know.
Right.
I know I had the whole Slade Wilson a little bit with the Raja Ghul dying and who they were blaming and who actually killed him and stuff.
Did you get the side issues? Like you had to get like one issue of Deathstroke Incorporated, one issue of Robin. I told Alex, I was like, it's like an 8-part little thing, so I have to pick up like 3 extra books. I told him to get those. So
that's the one thing I admit I'm not the best at, Miguel.
Right.
I mean, I think I'm definitely past the beginner comic book fan, but getting all these side stories, man.
Well, because it was confusing because I read like Batman number whatever, and it said, the Shadow War Part 4. I was like, what the hell? I just read Shadow War Part 2. Where's 3? And it was an issue of Robin. So I'm like, hey, Alex, can you add Robin number whatever the hell? And then sure enough, the very next week, I had to get one issue of Deathstroke Incorporated. And then there's like the one that comes out, tomorrow? Or I got it last week, like Shadow War Omega, which is like the end of the story. And it's like done. So I
don't know. To the core of it, bro, I really like Slade Wilson, man, because he is purely just a hitman. He is purely just a hitman. I mean, it was like his daughter, I think, that dies, and he's just like kind of like a regular guy, not regular. You know what I'm trying to say? Like he's really just.
It doesn't take a lot to just set him off. I mean, and that's exactly what happens in season 2 of Titans. In the show, like he's the main villain in that show, and you'll see like what happens, like what the Titans do to make him just go off like over the edge and just want to take them all out. So it's good. But to end the comic book talk and go into like shows and stuff, speaking of Deathstroke and Titans and all that good stuff, I will say shout out to Graham Cracker Comics in. Is it technically Murrieta, California, I believe? Shout out to them. Super cool group of guys. They got Maddie. It's my first ever box that has like, a picture on it. She got like a little My Little Pony box.
Nice.
And so for all the fans, I know I sent you guys a picture of it, but I did pick up. I was like, whenever I go to a new comic book store or even in ones I've been to, I want to see if they have the Brian Michael Bendis run for Daredevil. I heard it's good, right? Like Alex Maleev, one of my favorite artists, is also on that. And so he goes, no, I have volume 3, so I can order number 1 and 2 for you. And I said, well, I'm not from here, so I have to talk to my guy. He said, okay, cool, no problem. But if you want to get a Brian Michael Bendis, Alex Maleev Marvel story, get this one right here. And you're only going to have to pick up this one because it's only a 12-issue run. So I got the Moon Knight run from Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev, if you see right here. But it's pretty cool. It's like what's going to happen, right? He's standing on top of the Captain America shield. He's got Logan's claws. He's got Spider-Man's hand. So I'm really looking forward to sometime in the next 10 years, actually finding time to open this bad boy up and reading it. And then the very last thing that I got, which is pretty cool, is I absolutely love Dark Knight's Metal, the side story from Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, and their dark multiverse versions of Bruce Wayne. And one of my favorite ones, actually, because they all had a side story, was Dawnbreaker, which is the Bruce Wayne evil version of Green Lantern. So I got a statue, actually, because it was kind of cheap. Statue right here. I got this one right here, so another add to the collection.
My friend is badass.
Right, so I got this one right here. This is what he looks like with the green, with the construct in his hand. I do have the Flash one. I know you've seen that one before, like the Dark Flash that has all the bats behind him and stuff. So I have now Red Death and Dawnbreaker, 2 of the 6 or 7 side characters from Dark Knight's Metal. So very excited to open that one up and display it either at work or on my hutch over here in the garage in the Bat Cave. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
I like it. Some really good holes over there. That comic book shop's pretty good.
It is pretty good. Actually, it is. Shoot, what is it? I think because it's funny because the same girlfriend, my cousin's girlfriend, she used to work there, and I don't know if it's currently, but while she was working there, they were one of, if not the biggest sellers of Marvel comics in all of California. It's like, oh damn. And actually, it's an extension, too. I think it's more of a Midwest. It's a chain of stores. There's, like, multiple. If you go on their website, I think they're out of, like, Illinois or Wisconsin or Iowa or one of those states, the Midwest states. But, yeah, but Graham Cracker Comics in SoCal is not the first one. It's one of the newer ones. So, yeah. It was a good
Speaking
haul.
of new comic book stores, also when the wife and I for Memorial Day weekend went to the beach, we actually stopped in Los Gatos because we had to get some gas. Great gas prices in California, but there was a big old poster, and we didn't take the time to actually go drive around and look for it,
Uh-huh.
but it had the best name ever for a comic book shop. It was Batcave Comics.
Oh, no way. They
I
had like
swear, bro.
an advertising for it?
It was advertising. It was an all yellow banner and black writing. Ooh, had the old school Batman vibe. I was like, dude, I knew I had to bring it up the mic. I don't even know
Oh,
why I didn't take a
man.
picture of it. It was something super quick, but I actually need to actually dig into it to see if it actually is in Los Gatos or what. But oh yeah, dude, it was pretty badass. Right in downtown too. It was like, typical Sunday, whatever day it was, Sunday or Monday. It was Sunday, and people were just walking around enjoying a little Sunday stroll. And you just see a big old banner,
I,
Batcave
you know
Comics.
what? I will be in the San Jose area in a couple weeks. San Jose, Los Gatos, Campbell area. So I might have
There it
to go over
is.
there and take a look. Nice. Well, thank you for that tidbit. But Sean, I know we have a couple. Speaking of tidbits, going back and forth in the world of entertainment for comic books. So I think we'll just kind of go tit for tat here. So Joker 2 sequel is officially announced, and the title. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a French name. It's Joker, and then it's like Folie à Deux. Like,
Let me see right now. You know what? I didn't. Oh, there. Yeah, it's script which states Joker Folly. Do or do. I think
deux,
yeah.
like, yeah,
Deux
yeah.
is pronounced do or do.
Deux is two in French. So, yeah. So I need.
Did you see what it translates to?
No, what does it translate to?
It translates to Joker Madness for two.
Madness for two. Oh, wow, nice.
Interesting.
All right, all right. So obviously that's Joaquin Phoenix. It's totally separate than what we saw for the Batman, for what the universe that they're kind of building for HBO Max, right? So who knows? I mean, as a side story, I'm cool with it, right? Like I don't have to have Joaquin Phoenix as my Joker. Like I didn't have to have Robert Downey Jr. as my Iron Man. They could have had something. They could have had something else on freaking HBO Max or whatever.
Something completely
Right,
side.
it's
Yep.
totally cool with me, right? But what MCU is doing? Obviously, they've been doing it for almost 15 years now. So of course they were going to do it that way. Let me see. I have actually, you know what? I got one more. I'm not going to say the ones we were talking about earlier, but one that we didn't discuss in pre-production, all but announced. All signs are pointing to announcing this. This is definitely, like I've said before, this is the next game I'm getting. This is the next game I'm getting. But all but announced, all but confirmed, a remastered version of Sir 007 GoldenEye.
Don't tell
all
me
but
that.
confirmed.
Don't you do that to me, Michael
Don't you put
Biela.
that? Don't you put that
do that
evil
to
on
me.
Yeah, dude. How freaking cool would that be to now be able to play that in a remastered version? And you know what? To be honest, I'd be cool with the
I played the original
I'll play the
version. I'd be
original
happy.
with that graphics. I don't give a shit. I'll play that one, right? Oh, dude.
Dude, that was a shit back then, bro. The freaking proximity mines, and that was the original freaking Call of Duty freaking
Oh, yeah.
battle royale fighting each other and
The
stuff.
RCP-90 with 80 rounds in your clip.
Ooh, say it again.
The AK-47,
That was the best, bro.
dude. Like the golden gun, one shot, one kill.
What was like the double pistol, double silver pistols?
The double, yeah, that's right.
I forgot what it was called.
What were they called?
Oh man, that game
Like
was. It was like the snow level. You're freaking like going through the
Mm-hmm.
snow, and you barely see the enemies. Oh, those graphics, you barely see
Oh
the
yeah,
enemies.
because they were like in gray too. So of course, like you have like the handguns or just your karate chops, and they have AK-47s. You're like, oh shit. What else would they have? And then you had the cheat codes like the Donkey Kong heads, so you can make their heads all freaking big.
They stood out a little bit more.
Like, that's what we look like.
Oh, shoot, you remember
Like,
that?
that's what we look forward to back then. That's what we look forward to. Like unlocking all the characters. You
This
get
is how-
Jaws. You can get Odd Job. You can get all those guys. So cool.
This is how games feel, laughing and stuff, man. I like it. I'm like you, man. I can't remember the last time I even played a freaking video game, especially when we, moved back in with Grandpa and stuff. I didn't even set up my freaking PlayStation, but I might need to make a little space for that PlayStation here in that news.
Right. So yeah, go ahead. You have a couple pieces of news, I know.
Yeah, brother, we talked about it. I know Dwayne Johnson teases the whole Black Adam trailer. I know you actually had the confirmed day. I believe it was
Tomorrow. So when
tomorrow. Is that
everyone,
what it
yeah, so
was?
when everyone sees this or hears this, you'll be able to look up the first official trailer for Black Adam.
Nice. So that's gonna be awesome. I know the Sandman gonna be a big thing for Netflix. They have a teaser announcement for August 5th. So that's gonna be very big for Netflix. We had another one which I am drawing a blank on. Oh, well, something that I know me and you are going to wait for.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange 2. It is coming to Disney Plus, not in July or August, but on June 22nd. Guys, we've got to wait like 2.5, 3 more weeks
Oh,
max. We're
that's two
right there.
weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks, so that's very, very nice to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, like going through all my shows now. You have Batwoman that is done. You have Legends of Tomorrow. I have one episode each on both of those shows, and so that's like around like early March. I just watched the first episode of Snowfall. Going to be another great season. I love that show, even though the original creator and writer has since died. A couple years ago, I think. But excited to start Mayans. You have news on the Gotham Knights, which I should have news. I should know, but news to me.
It's actually right up your alley, Gotham Knights. I mean, I'm not really too familiar with the Gotham Knights. I think I've heard of maybe a time or two, but I don't know if it was a trailer or just kind of like a quick glance of it on TV. And yeah, that's just a pre-production scene. Like, oh yeah, Mike, there's gonna be a Gotham Knights trailer coming out, and what, the video game, Sean? It's like, no, they're gonna come out with their freaking show. And I mean, even like the headline right here, Batman is dead. That's where it takes place.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, it's already intriguing me a little bit.
Right, and that's what I thought that the video game was too. Was like Bruce Wayne is dead, so now like like Nightwing and Batgirl, Red Hood. So like what kind of characters are we looking at here? Like are we gonna get like what Robin are we getting? Are we gonna get Damian? Or is it gonna be Dick Grayson Nightwing, or is it
too.
Robin? Like who is it?
Batman is dead. Got them. I'm really trying to dig in to see if we can get some character names, man. But it's really just a long ass paragraph that we'll probably have to digest. But it is coming out in 2023. Is the release
Okay,
year,
so I have plenty of time. I'll still be behind in my shows, but I have plenty of time until that one comes out.
You will
Right.
be.
I have been watching Naomi. It's pretty good, because I know that she's a new character as a whole, and I'm surprised that she already got. I mean, like Brian Michael Bendis. Excuse my language, but he had to have sucked somebody off to already get her on a show or on a movie, because he announced her and like wrote her first story like 2-3 years ago. So it's pretty like she's already in the Justice League in the books. Like it's pretty crazy how much she has ascended already in her first couple years of being just an actual character in the books. But yeah, I'm so disappointed though, man. I haven't seen Morbius, even though I've heard it's, I'm not gonna go see it in the theaters, but if I have 2 hours to watch it at home one night, I'm gonna watch it.
Of course.
I haven't watched Doctor Strange yet, but we have one thing we can talk about right now. Spoilers for whoever hasn't watched it, because it's about a week old now by the time you listen to this. But we have watched the first 3 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus. Sir, how are you liking it so far?
I think I'm gonna use the same line I told you earlier when I watched the first 2. Oh, they're really good. But when I watch episode 3, it's like, okay, the first 2 were actually just all right. And it's just started the Star Wars geek in me. I love it because I really felt like that Darth Vader body freaking just gets destroyed, turns into actual Darth Vader. What's actually going on now with all the freaking Jedi? And then they're just hunting Jedis left and right, and Kenobi's just trying to just blend in.
Right.
Just try to hide. I mean, you even see, little Luke. You see the uncle. How big of a role is Leia playing right now? Like, Leia's a little smart ass, but
Exactly. It's so cool, like the nostalgia, and it's like it's you're trying to figure out like where in the timeline are we, and trying to figure this and that out. Like how cool was it? Like the first scene, right? Well, the first scene was the scene where they're killing all the younglings and stuff, and it's like and then all these Jedi's go, and like the camera work, and how it's just like kind of going back, and like you see
those original movies,
right? You
man.
see that Jedi go down, this Jedi go down, and of course the kids are able to escape. But it's just pretty cool, like how they're doing that. And of course you have Flea from freaking Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's one of the kidnappers of Princess Leia, so that was pretty cool. I kind of wish that the bald guy who was like really pale, I hope that he'd be more of a character, like so
Well, he was like a leader type of guy.
Right. He
Next
was
thing
like
you
a
know,
like a
like
captain or
see
general.
ya.
Yeah. So, what was her name again? Yeah,
Reva,
yeah, yeah,
Reva,
yeah.
Reva is
Riva. She's
Reva. I
pretty
think it's
much she's
Reva.
trying to take over, right? And
Yeah.
she's got the eyes and ears of Darth Vader. So if she needs to get him, because if not, then she
Well,
dead.
it's funny you brought that up too, because I know when it first got announced with the Kenobi, we didn't have too much like noise on how big Vader was going to be included. But bro, like
Yeah.
he's in the show, like he's in the show, like he's already had a nice little fight with Kenobi. So no, it is badass, and not just being the bias in me. No, I'm exactly with what Mike said. The first two, like it's traditionally a little slower, but it's almost like a refresher to a degree.
Right.
But you also get to see kind of like where everybody's at. But episode three, it is skyrocketing.
Right.
It took
I'm
off.
just interested to I'm just see like where they go, who they introduce, who they kill off, because like at the end of the day, where we are in the timeline of what we've seen in the past movies and TV shows, like we know Obi-Wan Kenobi's not going to die until he's old, right? Nothing's going to happen to Darth Vader. Nothing's going to happen to Luke. Nothing's going to happen to Luke's family until Luke's older, right? Until they all get burned, right? So
And even the family watching Leia, if you think about it, that whole planet doesn't die until they actually test that super
the Death
weapon
Star,
from the Death Star.
right?
Yeah, so exactly. We have so many things that we already know, but it's still kind of
It still
like
sucks you
there's gonna
in.
be some good stuff.
It
Of
still sucks
course.
you in, bro. And and speaking of slow starts to kind of good endings, I don't think we've discussed Moon Knight because shoot, a couple weeks ago I hadn't finished it yet. I still had like 2 episodes, so I finally finished it. Like another, I don't know where I'd put it. Excuse me, in the list of the Disney Plus MCU TV shows yet. I wouldn't put it number one. I'm sorry, there's plenty of people who disagree with me, but I still think WandaVision's the best one.
WandaVision
Like
is the
how
best
I
one.
felt in the first 2 episodes, like pissed, like what the hell is this? Like so confused, and how it just absolutely blew my mind how they like explained everything over the next couple episodes, and Agatha Harkness, and then Vision coming back, and then just everything, and then at the end of the day, just like what she did and how it leads into Doctor Strange 2. It's absolutely amazing. Obviously I haven't seen Doctor Strange 2, so I don't know how any of these other shows lead into the movie other than WandaVision. Like, I don't know if Loki leads into it. I don't know if Falcon Winter Soldier leads into it. I assume most of those shows it doesn't. I can almost guarantee you that they don't reference Hawkeye or, Falcon Winter Soldier or Moon Knight in
Of
Doctor
course.
Strange 2, right? So,
We're
but,
still yet to see it, but it's funny. I actually still have one more episode to watch. I actually got to admit, I'm guilty of that. I actually have one more
oh,
episode to
okay.
watch. I mean, Brian, we have. I mean, I'm definitely not as far back as you. I can say in
Right.
shows. I mean, God, hey, we're all busy. Shoot, but yeah, that's one show. Like, it's kind of like it just wasn't my favorite. It was
Hmm.
good. It's cool, but it definitely is a little bit of a thinking show too.
Right.
Like, hold on now.
Right. And
What do you think about
right, like
that?
the story I think is very mediocre. But
Yeah,
I will say that Oscar Isaac, he plays the shit out of
he
this
is the
character.
man.
Like when he goes
He's the
back
man.
and forth to when now it's not the last episode, right? You've seen the episode where he guy goes back and he sees like with his mom and the right. Right.
Yes.
Okay. So that's not the last episode. Good. But like how he just goes back and forth without he's just like he's calm and chill, and then he's like confused, and then he's crying in the street, and it's like going back and forth. And with the accent, like dude deserves a freaking Emmy right there for that.
Well, he plays like three or four people. Damn near. It seems like. Oh yeah,
Right.
he's. Oh yeah.
So like individual performances, I'd give of course, Miss Olsen of Wanda, and he's like right up there. Like Loki was good in Loki, right? Like Falcon and Winter Soldier, like them, like actors, right? Like Hawkeye,
On an individual character level, yeah, he played the shit out of that role. There's no doubt about that. I have one more episode, and yeah, it's still a show that it's just again, like I said, one of those shows I need to like. It's not that I need to watch it twice. Actually, I actually hate watching shows twice. Right, I have to like stop and rewind. Like, okay, make sure I understood that. But oh yeah, he plays the hell out of that role for
right?
sure.
And then I'm excited, we're like in the next couple months, we're getting Miss Marvel, we're getting She-Hulk, we're getting all some good stuff. And of course, Doctor Strange 2 coming out, at the end of the month. That's actually awesome news. I'm glad I don't have to not waste, but use one of my, hey, mom and dad, can you watch the kids while me and Danielle go out? I don't have to use that on a movie where we actually don't get to talk, right? Because sometimes I don't, like we don't like wasting it on movies just because like, oh, we're going to go there just to not talk, right?
Here for the comfort of your own house, brother.
Right. So that one's pretty good. I don't think anybody.
We got Blade. I know it's another thing we brought up, but Blade will begin production on 4th of July. So that's going to be very exciting news. I know we've all been waiting for that for a while now. So hopefully they get that one filmed up soon. I mean, Mahershala Ali. It's funny. We actually were talking about that when we did the podcast Palooza. That's how far back that goes.
Damn, really?
Yes, I remember I specifically brought that note up.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah, they have Mahershala Ali now as a lead actor in the new Blade. And God, bro, that feels how long ago?
Right. Shoot, man. I mean, I do have a story. I don't know if I think I told you and Mark this. I'm not too sure because it's been a while since we've been together on the podcast. But I am getting a ticket to Comic-Con.
You did bring that up. That is awesome. You did mention that to us. You sent a picture of it or something like that. I was like, this guy, there it is. So
I thought that I freaking got my money back, but I didn't. So I confirmed my address. I confirmed my new mailing address because since then, I think I was in Tracy. But anyways, I had to update my email address and everything. And so I don't know if I'm going to be able to go, but just a little memento of having another ticket. And that way, that way, I'm still like the return customer. So that way, next year, if I do really want to be serious and go in July of next year, I don't have.
You have first dibs, right?
I have that. I have the both days to try to get tickets, not just the the general public who haven't it's not a returning customer on the second day. I get to jump in with the other nerds on the first day.
I am impressed. I mean, me and Mark still got to go to our freaking first one. So I mean, we did the whole. Silicon Valley. It's time for us to do a big Comic-Con. There's no doubt about that.
It's fun too, and it's like a whole weekend thing, So you go down there. We go to Comic-Con for like 2 days, right? But then you're in
hit the gas lamp the rest.
Right, exactly. The beach. They take the kids to the beach and stuff like that. We have family and friends who are like within 30 to 45-minute drive. We don't have to really we don't have to stay and spend hell because they jack up those prices for the hotels and Airbnbs and stuff. But yeah. I mean, shoot, brother, that's pretty much it. Like all I can really think of as far as shows and movies and stuff. I'm just really excited on finishing, of course, Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow. Salute to them. They're both gone, but one more show is coming. I will say Superman and Lois is like this second season. Now the first season's kind of, shorter, but man, I can already tell on this trajectory, this Superman and Lois show will be better than Arrow, will be better than The Flash.
It already might be. It's hella good. They both, it's good.
Are you watching it?
Oh, I'm caught up already.
Okay, cool.
Oh, my friend.
I just finished the episode where the dad pretty much had to unveil how he was cheating at the quinceañera.
See,
I just finished that episode. Yeah. So, but like Bizarro Superman, like just the video quality. It doesn't look like kind of like cheesy Flash Arrow.
He a little scared, bro. I'm like, ooh, a little oozy boy.
But just watching the video quality of just the general, like they're at the diner or they're at the house, it feels more like a movie than a TV show, for sure.
Yeah, it makes me think of actually when we used to watch Smallville, and I'm just like, okay, like this. Obviously now he's freaking Superman, but like even like his kids and stuff, like there's a lot more dynamics now, and yeah, it's badass, bro. I really, really like this. I know Arrow, I really liked. Flash, it's kind of took in its turn. It's kind of like let's just kind of get that one over with, but yeah, it's this one's really, really good already.
Yeah. Flash and Arrow had his super, super high points in the first, 4 or 5 seasons. You had Deathstroke that was in Arrow. You had, of course, all of the different characters like Reverse Flash. Like some of those first couple of seasons of both those shows are absolutely amazing.
Killer Grog.
Oh, yeah, Gorilla Grodd, You had Captain Cold, Mirror Master. You had all the Flash rogues. You had all those guys. But I can already tell Superman and Lois is going to be hella good, especially if they put together a good Doomsday. Then it's a wrap, dude. If they unleash doomsday in the next season or two, it's over for sure.
Well, that's gonna definitely be like their moneymaker, their like trophy. That show, like, because it's still so new and it's already that good.
Right. Okay, dude. Well, it was great to be back on the podcast. We are just shy of 11 p.m., so that's a really good time for us usually to kind of wind down and end episode 151 for the fans. But Mr. Powers, take us away.
Episode 151, bro. It's just good to be back, man. I mean, I know we are just so damn busy with life now. I mean, now that we all have kids in between our jobs and all the stuff going on in our life, but it's just good again to be back. We are going to definitely have to edit that. That's the one time the draw went off real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just definitely good to be back, man, especially talking, most importantly, sports and comics. Warrior fans, let's definitely stand up tomorrow. A big Game 3. Hopefully that goes great. And, yeah, man, I'm just happy to definitely be here with, obviously, you. I mean, Mark, I know he mentioned he may not be here this week or for the next podcast, but we'll definitely get back into the groove of things. I do want to bring this up real quick to, of course, Uncle Mike. I know this is something that's sentimental that you'd like to hear. Kaysen has his first swimming lessons tomorrow, sir.
Nice. Are you going to be like those parents who just throw him in the pool and like let him like...
Oh, hell
Have you seen...
I mean, I'm going to actually be in the pool with him. I've seen it, and I don't even want to go down that road and get in trouble for what I'm going to say, but no, that definitely is not going to happen with Kaysen. But yes, tomorrow is his first...
You can say that's some crazy white people shit.
That's some crazy white people shit there, man. But yeah, it's some wild stuff right there. But no, it's he turns 6 months tomorrow. Nice. We have swimming lessons tomorrow. So I mean, it's Marissa. She'll be, of course, filming it and taking pictures. Oh, yeah,
for sure.
But it's a beautiful thing, man. And yeah, just the whole fatherhood thing, bro. Definitely a new perspective on every and anything, and even appreciating this right here, bro. Because that me time is so important. Who else would I want to be with? My best friend. So. Big time, bro.
Hell yeah, dude. Just to end the podcast, I told you that we would be getting, some stats, hopefully some good stats. I will say, congratulations to us. We have a country or two in Africa, but welcome Ethiopia to the Comic Bookies podcast passport. Ethiopia, thank you so much for the handful of people.
Well.
Right. So, as far as the United States is concerned, I don't see really a lot of any new states. Maybe no, I don't think so. I think we're good. Maybe Ohio. No, I think we have Ohio already.
You said we're like through half the country, so I mean we're doing pretty damn good so far.
I mean, let's just say I know these aren't like striking numbers. It's not Joe Rogan numbers, but over the last 10 episodes, we have over 500 downloads in Virginia. Like, do you know anybody in Virginia?
I mean, come on now. I know Coach Hoyman Boone.
Yeah, Hoyman Boone. This Virginia, right?
This Virginia, we do things a little different.
It reminds me because we have a vacation that we're planning on going for one of our best friends, Steve's. We have 0 downloads in South Carolina in the last 10 episodes. We need to go down there, pass some flyers out, and then give these guys a swift kick in the ass.
Though.
Right?
South Carolina, 0 downloads, yet this fool wants us in our wedding.
Right,
in his wedding. Best friends. See you there.
So, top 5 in the United States right now over the last 10 episodes. Washington, D.C., the Boston. Boston want to come and show some love. Okay. So Boston.
They either want to show love or hear our shit talk.
Right. So you have Washington, D.C., Boston, Massachusetts, of course, the Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto area, and San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose are 3rd and 4th, and Wheeling, West Virginia. Steubenville, West Virginia. So thank you so much for the state of West Virginia.
Mountaineers.
Right. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining the top 5 for that, beating out New York, Vegas, Denver, even LA, Detroit. We are all over the map, my friend. So, of course, sorry to drag this on, but this has been...
never apologize, brother.
Right. So this has been the Comic Bookies Podcast, episode 151. For Mark, who's not here, and for Sean, we'll see everyone. I'll try to make a YouTube video at Sonoma this Sunday, but and we will see you next week. We will see you guaranteed next week because this is my short week of work, but my long weekend, we'll be back again for 152. Enjoy the sports, enjoy the comics, and enjoy the hell out of each other. Peace out. See y'all at Sonoma.
Peace. There isn't going to be no enjoy each other and this and that.